Hello, Call of War enthusiasts. My name is Sayonika. Welcome to the Sayonika channel. And today, with the help of some pro player friends of mine, I will be discussing the top 5 mistakes that noobs make in Call of War. So here is the mistake that God of the game, one of the best 4 times 100 players out there, said that noobs keep making. Well, one thing I've seen is many new players just attack without stacking their units and send them off to battle just stacks of ones. And it's really annoying to see your ally do that, since the defender even gets a bonus for defending and the attacker's stack of 1 usually just dies and it's just a waste of manpower. So basically, in shortened, more newbie terms, do not just randomly send that one division off to attack a massive stack of divisions. It's a waste of resources. Make sure you at least have a 10 stack when attacking a mass stack of divisions. Make sure you have some support behind it instead of just endlessly throwing units at enemy lines, because that is just a waste of resources, and you can use them resources to do other better things. So, Ironside's big tip for noobs. Ironside is like a very, very good Japan player in historical World War. We had like a 1v1 this one time. He did really fucking well in it. But his suggestion for new players is, I think for any new player that is active, biggest mistake is failing to utilize economic resources. What he means by this is that new players, instead of, investing into industry, investing into tank plants, they primarily invest into, one thing. They're hell-bent on one thing in that, and then they cry when they get overran by, a guy with superior units and, a way larger army, because they decide to just invest into, I don't know, their army. Or they decide to invest, I don't know, into their navy. They never spread out their investments. They focus on one thing and one thing only, and then they never invest into anything like industry or upgrades or anything like that. Failure to utilize this mass array of resources and just focusing on building units is not the way to win. You can build more units faster if you actually put investment into your industry, your ordnance foundries, your tank plants, your secret labs, your barracks, your aircraft factories. Put some investment into them, because over time you are going to get more overturn and you are going to make more profits on your industry, and you're going to get a bigger army than just sitting there focusing primarily on army. So this is Goebbels' tip. He's a pretty decent player. He's jack of all trades. He plays all game modes. He's an enjoyable guy overall. But no, this is the tip that Goebbels suggests. Instead of, spamming medium tanks or something, what he suggests is spam artillery. Artillery is king. He says that basically, due to how powerful artillery is, instead of, just spamming medium tanks thrown endlessly at enemy lines in hopes that you can eventually break them, that's just wasting resources. Refer on the previous tip on Ironside's tip, because that's just awful. He says that artillery is actually extremely good. And it is very good to have a decent stack of artillery while goes supporting an attack. So, you've got your typical 1 AA, I don't know, let me just come up with a random stack that you normally do. I don't know, 2 medium tanks, 3 motorized infantry, 1 special anti-air. Let's go with, this is just a random unit off my mind, 5 infantry to fill in the gaps. Basically, artillery supported behind that, a 10 stack of artillery, would absolutely shred the defending units that the enemy is using, and then it will just absolutely benefit you. Artillery is king. You need to use it. Zortokwa's tips for noobs is to stop playing random ideologies if you are not going to play by what that ideology's buffs are. If you're going to pick a nation to play as for its ideology, don't just pick the nation and then just not play by its ideology. Play by its ideology a bit. You know, the faction, Axis, Pan-Asian, Allies, Comintern. With Comintern, rocket artillery is good, so use a bit of rocket artillery. Heavy tanks are good with Comintern as well, so use them. And Axis, medium tanks are the king for Axis, so use medium tanks. Stop just randomly making random division templates, completely ignoring the bonuses that you get with certain unit types, because a lot of the times those bonuses overpower the units that you're just randomly building. So please allocate your resources to building units that have that special bonus that's going to help you. No unit in Call of War is bad. No unit in Call of War is shit. Every unit is good in their own regard. Militia is very good for defense. So please, for doctrines that give militia that bit of boost, use militia, because you will thank me later. Make your units with your ideology. Just stop making random units. Now here is my one big final tip for noob players. Think with a bit of strategy. You know how in like Call of War there is like so many unit types and all that, and it can be super confusing. Think with a bit of strategy when you're attacking units, instead of, you know, just going bang, 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 repeatedly with, I don't know, 10 stacks. Why not shake it up a bit? Use planes like tacks and attacks to target specific areas. Try some blitzkrieg, get around the enemy's defenses, sneak behind their lines. Use your artillery and rocket artillery, inflict heavy damage. And then the other thing is use a good build. A very, very good stack is the difference between life and death. If you're just gonna sit there and spam 5 mediums and 5 motorized, that is not enough. Vary your stacks a bit. Get a good stack that's basically against all unit types. And get a defensive stack, an offensive stack. Just get like an extremely powerful stack. And trust me, mate, you will see a lot of successes if you start using a lot much more better strategical thinking when attacking, and start using a lot much more better stacks and just the same old boring 5 mediums, 5 infantry. Because to be honest, mate, that is not going to lead you to victory. What's going to lead you to victory is inflicting as much damage as you can, and whilst also retaining a lot of your health, and retaining a very good stack. And artillery and rocket artillery, mate, are good. And railroad guns are just broken early game, so please spam out like fucking 10 of them. Please, just spam out 10 of them, you will not regret it. They are broken early game. But yeah, those are my tips. Yeah, thanks for watching the video.